Coming at y'all Wednesday, October 15th. It's week 8 of the NCAA football season and NFL week 7. Once again, this is the Best Picks in DMV podcast. I'm your host, Gabriel Priest. I'm here with my co-host, TJ Virgil. He's also the co-host on the 420 Friendly podcast.
Going too fast.
Put your name up.
My bad.
Well, y'all know what it is. What up, world? What up, world? What up, world? How's everybody feeling tonight? Y'all know what it is. Another episode, Best Picks in the DMV podcast. Yeah, let's get it.
Yes, sir. We're also here with my producer.
Hold on. Let me go back. Let me put your name up stuff first.
Yeah, you can put it up again though. I'm coming on again with my Instagram.
Oh yeah, here we go. That's Gabe, y'all. So y'all know. That's Gabe.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he was all extra quick.
My bad.
Not taking
I
his
did
time.
go a little bit quicker in the intro this time.
Right. And they go TJ, y'all. So
Hi,
y'all
guys.
And then we gotta get Ty.
Oh yeah, I'm coming. I'm coming too. Hold up. Here I go. There I go.
There I go.
Okay.
There I is.
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing? Now, we going back over the gate.
Back to you, Gabe.
Let's go back to Gabe.
Well, right away, let me tell
That's
you to
the
go
habits.
ahead and follow me on Instagram. It's Best Picks in DMV. Follow me on TikTok, Facebook.
Yes.
And you can even, if you have any questions, email me on bestpicksindmv@yahoo.com. Remember, this podcast only gives out the 2 locks for the weekend games for college football, then the 2 weekend locks for the NFL, either on Sunday or Monday. Last week we had our first Monday game, so they definitely exist. But on the Instagram, you get official plays throughout the week, then additional games as well on the weekend that might not be on the podcast. So once again, definitely follow that. It's Best Picks in DMV. I also on TikTok giving it out too. So once again, that's Best Picks in DMV on TikTok as well. Right now, the record is 32-31 in college football, which is a 50.7%. In NFL, it's 12-11, which is a 52.1%. Overall, right now, we're sitting at a 44 and 42%. 44 and 42 overall record with a 51.1%. But the goal is to go above 56.5%. So we definitely got to improve on Instagram. But it's been going a little different on the podcast. So let me not jump too far ahead, but just know we've been doing pretty well on here. So I definitely pay attention. Now, let me go ahead over the quick agenda real quick. It's pretty much the same agenda as every week. We're going to review how we did last week. Then we're going to go ahead and preview the 4 games this week. And then we're going to give out the Paris parlays.
Yes. You know, the part in Pinky and the Brain where they're like, the same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
Well, we're trying to take over the board.
Absolutely.
That's what we're doing.
That's how I feel.
Yes, sir. But
My bad.
last,
Ty.
go ahead, Ty. My bad.
No, I just want to share the social media. If y'all shared it out, so people can tune
We
in.
did not. We did not.
Just want to put that in there.
Okay.
Hey, wait. I ain't even get plug myself in tonight.
Nah, my bad. Let me come back to Ty. Once again, it's the king of producing. He also with the Audio Alchemy podcast, 420 podcast, and the creator of VMN. Go ahead, Ty.
Yeah. Ty, we having a good day. I think I'm high again.
Smoking
So,
on some
yeah.
weird stuff. The
Right.
space cowgirl.
Space cowgirl.
Boy, feeling spacey.
Spacey.
Right.
You know what I mean? But
Yes,
photography, drone, podcasting, all that. We do it right here. So tune in. And we here for another great episode. So sit back, enjoy the ride. Let's go.
Yes, sir. We got some money to be made. But let's go and
Yes.
review real quick how we did last week. It wasn't that great of a week last week. Overall, the first game was Alabama and Missouri. The final score was 27-24, Alabama. The spread in that game was Alabama -3.5. It was a great game in a tough SEC battle. It was back and forth pretty much the whole game with Alabama kept grabbing like 10-point leads. They were up 17-7 in the first half, but Missouri battled back, tied it after Alabama fumbled it on the first play in the third quarter, tied it up. But then after that, Alabama got back out to a 10-point lead, got up 27-17. But once again, Missouri battled their best to get back into the game. They finished 3 points short, unfortunately. They fell short on the last possession. They were driving to like their 47, but threw the interception with like a few, like over, I think for like 40 seconds left in the game or something like that. But Alabama won the turnover battle, total yards, penalties, and time of possession by a large amount. Alabama controlled the ball for 38 minutes, 33 seconds, while Missouri controlled it for 21 minutes and 27 seconds. So with all those stats going out of Alabama favor, I feel more than blessed that we got the cover in that game at plus 3.5. So that was the first game that we gave out. We covered in that. We really wanted Missouri to win, but we gave them out at plus 3.5 as well. So we'll take that as a win. But the next game we gave out, that was an awful game. I'm gonna admit right away that was embarrassing. It was Wake at Oregon State. Wake was favored by 2.5, I believe, on here. We needed Oregon State to win outright in both parlays anyways. Wake ended up winning 39-14. Like I said, it was a highly embarrassing pick because Oregon State is now 0-6 or 0-7, I'm sorry, and did fire their coach, I think, on the next day.
Yeah. Yep.
So, yeah. It was
happens.
the worst pick of the year so far, Ty. We got to bounce back for him in that one. Wake outgained the Beavers 468 yards to 309 yards, and we're up 32-0 in the fourth quarter. It got crazy. And I feel this week, it was really rough. So I ain't really got to say too much more about that game.
It happens.
I thought Wake really wouldn't put too much into the game. They pretty much controlled the whole game. And Malik Murphy's a clown, that quarterback for Oregon State that transferred from Duke. I had more belief in him, and he's just awful for real. So that game was awful, but 1-1 overall in college football this week. Once again, 11-4 overall. That's not bad, and we got definitely a good 2 games to make up for that Oregon State game this week.
Sure.
I can guarantee it. Feeling real good about this week. Now in the NFL, the first game we gave out in that was Seattle at Jacksonville. Seattle won that game 20-12, unfortunately. We gave out Jacksonville on the money line. They were plus 1.5, I believe. This game went a lot like I thought, though. Sammy D and Trevor had a nice quarterback battle. Jacksonville shut down Seattle's rush game, holding Walker to only like 34 yards. I didn't really expect Jacksonville to do much on the ground because Seattle has the second best rush defense anyways.
Yeah.
But where it went wrong is Seattle did have the slow start like I thought they would. Like I thought they'd come out flat after because they're going out to Jacksonville on that trip, remember? And they're starting at 1 o'clock. Yeah, they only had 3 points in the second quarter with 8 minutes and 34 seconds left. But unfortunately, Jacksonville didn't take advantage. They only had 6. And then it was a 61-yard touchdown pass from Sammy D to give them the lead before they started really rolling. Overall, like I said, though, it was pretty much like I thought it was going to be. The main difference was, besides not getting out to the quick start Jacksonville would, like I thought they would, I thought there'd be some interceptions thrown by Sammy D. I thought he'd throw 2 picks against Jacksonville, who has 10 interceptions in knowing Sammy D history. But this year, he still's only thrown 3 interceptions. So it's not. Sammy D's definitely got control of the ball better than he's ever had.
Stepping it up.
Yeah.
That's all that is.
Yeah. But we'll see how Seattle goes this week. I don't want to give too much away, but we'll see how they go this week. Now, the fourth game that we gave out was great. It was our first Monday night selection. All I really have to say is Bijan Robinson, 19 rushes, 170 yards, 1 touchdown, and 6 receptions for 68 yards, totaling over 200 yards.
Get him.
Can we?
Off.
I want an honorable mention.
Who's that?
Oh, Carolina.
Oh yeah.
Battle.
I tried to tell. Hold on. Let me finish this one up real quick. This
my
game,
bad.
because I do want to talk about that for a second because I'm happy you brought up that game. I really am. Now, like I said, he had over 200 total yards. TJ's favorite quarterback, Penix, added on with 250 yards and one touchdown through the air.
Penix.
And Drake London had 158 yards and a touchdown. They went off. The number one total team defense shut down Allen under 200 yards throwing. They were able to force Josh to also throw 2 INTs and was able to allow close out a tough week it allowed us to close out a tough week at 2-2.
Yep.
That defense held tough, and them boys went off. We didn't profit this week, unfortunately, but we went 2-2. Now, before I get to the exact parlays we handed out and the money we lost, unfortunately, and where we're sitting at, which is still a nice profit, I'm really mad that I didn't give out Carolina last week, Ty. And it was because I didn't want to give them out back-to-back weeks. But if I like it back-to-back weeks, I'm giving them out 3 weeks in a row from now on this show. I mean, you got to.
There's no rules against it on the pod.
I know
Right.
I should have. I was telling you all week.
Rico, get one.
He got his give back.
I got to give it to him.
But then they got to win this week. That's a tricky line versus the Jets. That is a tricky line coming up versus the Jets for sure. It's freaking me out a little bit, but I just think it's mainly because Carolina hasn't won a game on the road in God knows how long. So I still feel comfortable that they're going to win that.
Having not won a game on the road and you're going into New Jersey to play the Jets, that's a tough place to play.
It is. I mean, I don't know. We'll see how it goes, though. But let me get to this part real quick. This week we're still sitting at $746.04. Okay. We did lose $350 total last week, but I told y'all I was kind of going to go light last week. We were sitting over a stack. I still only put up about $350. It was a little spooky of a week, and now you know why. We went with 3 parlays. The first one was Atlanta plus 3.5 at -102. Missouri plus 3.5 at -118. Oregon State money line at plus 122, and then Jacksonville money line at -110. $50 would have paid $725.34, but y'all saw how that went. Yeah. Then we had Atlanta plus 3.5, and then Jacksonville cost us some. So on the money line at -102, 100 would have paid $278, which would have brought back $378. That would have pretty much made us break even for the week, but Jacksonville couldn't do it. Then of course we had Missouri money line plus 126, which didn't come through, and Oregon State money line, which was the embarrassing pick of the year, $200 to win 803. But overall, we're still 1-1 in NCAA football this week, 1-1 in the NFL, which makes us 2-2. So this puts us at 11-4 for the year in college football, which is 73.3%. In the NFL, we're sitting at 58.3%. And overall, we're sitting at 18-9, which is a 66.6% mark, which you can't beat or get mad at or find anywhere for free. So let's go ahead and dive into these 4 picks that we got for this week real quick.
Let's do it.
Let's get it.
Yes, sir. And I'm telling y'all, this is a money week this week.
Big money.
Especially in college, I'm feeling really good. We're going 13-4 after this week. Trust me, TJ.
I like it.
Now, the first game we're giving out is Saturday at noon. LSU at Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's -2.5. Vanderbilt comes into this game 5-1, ranked 17th in the nation. This game is being played, of course, at First Bank Stadium in Nashville. The Commodores have already beat South Carolina and Virginia Tech, which were decent wins, but did lose a tough fought battle against Alabama, who is in the top 10, who they could have beat, it seemed, most of that game. They pulled away at the end, kind of, Alabama.
Yep.
So just keep that in mind. Now, also, one thing off the bat to mention is that Vanderbilt has shown a strong ability to generate pressure on opposing quarterbacks. They rank in top 10 for tackles for loss in sacks. This pass rush could exploit a weakness in this LSU offensive line. So keep that in mind. LSU comes into this game ranked number 10, but the offense has struggled, failing to score more than 20 points in any of their games against Power 4 opponents this season. In their most recent game, they won 20-10 over South Carolina, and the LSU QB threw 2 picks in the red zone. So he might be in his head a little bit coming into this one. And their offense has been hindering because of an ailing QB who's hurt right now a little bit for LSU. He's still going to play, but they've been looking, as far as on offense, extremely inconsistent. So just keep that in mind. Now on offense, Vanderbilt ranks 5th in the SEC in total offense and 7th in passing. But remember, Diego is at QB going 115 for 161, which is a 71.4% rank, which is nice, with 1,409 yards, 14 TDs, and 4 interceptions, which is great. Also, give them another 352 on the ground with 2 TDs. Vanderbilt offense ranks 4th in the SEC in rushing yards, so expect Vanderbilt having not many problems moving the ball at all against LSU, who's middle of the pack in every defensive category in the SEC.
Okay.
Now, LSU ranks 12th on offense in SEC, 8th in passing, and dead last in rush yards. So I do expect LSU to have some success through the air because Vanderbilt does rank 12th in the SEC in passing defense, but LSU should have no success on the ground because Vanderbilt rush defense ranks 5th against the rush. LSU also played Texas A&M at home next week, who ranks number 4 with a trip to Alabama the following week. So this is the first. So that it might be a little bit of a look ahead, sleeping on Vanderbilt a little bit, which I'm sure they're really not. But again, you got Alabama and Texas A&M coming up. Texas A&M's 4th
Big
in the nation.
dogs coming through.
Now, this is wild right here. I looked up some weird stuff. This is the first time Vanderbilt has been favored supposedly versus a top team in 47 years. I also heard they haven't been favored against LSU since 1948.
That is insane.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
47 years?
Yes.
What?
Last year, LSU was 9.5-point favorites at Death Valley and won 24-17. So this was one of those games I can't see play-by-play, but I feel comfortable with Vanderbilt scoring 28+, while I see LSU continuing to struggle to break that 20-point barrier. So I'm going to go with Vanderbilt to win by at least a field goal. And I feel very comfortable with that. And like I said, what was it, 1948, Ty? They're favored here for a reason. Just keep that in mind.
Right.
So now
1948 is crazy.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's what I found. I don't know how accurate that is. Maybe in the comments if you find something different, then show me. But that's what I found, and I thought that was crazy.
That is crazy. I'm still stuck on that. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Right. Now, this second game, I feel just as comfortable as the first game. Georgia Tech at Duke -1.5. TJ, we're going back with Duke. I'm going to tell them straight up.
Oh, here we go.
We're going back with Duke. It's not
the Dukies.
Down in Carolinas.
Right. And
let's go.
We haven't had too much success with them. Duke, but this time I feel real comfortable. Duke comes into this game with a strong ball-hawking defense and an efficient offense led by QB Darian Ncaa. Duke has a high-scoring offense. Duke's defense ranks highly in forced turnovers, tackles for loss, and interceptions, which could pressure Georgia Tech's dual-threat QB Haynes King. Because you do remember we was on Georgia Tech early in that contest versus Colorado. Duke also has momentum from recent strong performances against NC State, at Syracuse, and at Cal. Those aren't the best teams, but they put in a lot of good-looking work that game and had some impressive stats, especially Ncaa. Now, Georgia Tech is led by Haynes King, as you know well. A dual-threat quarterback who's a strong runner and passer. They have a high-scoring offense that averages 36.7 points per game, one of the best in the ACC. But Duke has the fourth-ranked offense.
Okay.
They are second in passing in the ACC. Ncaa he's absolutely been going 143 for 205 yards, which is 69.8%, 15 touchdowns, and only 2 picks so far this season.
Damn, those are good stats.
Yeah, he's really good. He's really good. Now, on the ground, they rank a solid 7th in the ACC, but now on defense, Georgia Tech ranks 8th in total defense, 3rd in passing defense, but dead last in rushing defense. Now, keep that in mind real quick. Now, Georgia Tech does rank 3rd overall on the offense in the ACC, but surprisingly 15th in pass offense, even though Haynes King is the quarterback. But 2nd overall in rush offense, while Duke ranks 12th total in defense in the ACC, which ain't great, while ranking 13th in pass defense and 10th in rush defense. So it's not the greatest defense to go up against them, but I'll tell you why it is in a second. So there is no doubt it seems both teams are going to move the ball a little bit on offense this game. This is also a game that's tough for me to give out a play-by-play analyst, really. It's one of those. But there's a few factors that I feel favor Duke big time in this contest. The first I feel is the QB play. Yes, Haynes King might be as talented as him, but throwing-wise, Ncaa has him beat big time. Yes, Georgia Tech does rank 3rd passing defense, but I feel that's because they control the clock, which makes other teams not able to have as many passing attempts versus a balanced offense. But Ncaa too good. That has a balanced offense, but Ncaa's too good for this Georgia Tech's defense to shut down, which also leads me to my next factor, which is Nate Shepard. Man, he's a freshman who's averaging 8 yards a pop right now. Look for him to destroy this Georgia Tech rush defense, which will also allow Ncaa more success, obviously, once they open up the ground game. Because remember, Georgia Tech ranks dead last in the ACC in rush defense.
It's crazy.
He also has over 100 yards receiving, the running back does, for the season. Also, I understand Duke ranks 13th in passing defense, like I was saying, but unfortunately, Haynes King has no weapons this year. So their 15th ranked pass offense is not going to do much. And I also understand Georgia Tech ranks 2nd in rush offense, and Duke ranks 10th in rush defense, but it's misleading because if you remember me telling you, they lead basically the nation in tackles for loss, forced turnovers, and interceptions, Duke. So Haynes King will have trouble moving the ball forward, especially if he has to start relying on throwing it because it hasn't worked for him all year. So give me Duke by at least a field goal in this contest, and I feel phenomenal about it.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and move into the 2 NFL games real quick. The first game's going to come at Sunday at 1 o'clock, Philly at Minnesota. Right now, Philly's -2.5. The Eagles' offense has been surprisingly inefficient this season. I think it's mainly due to their new coordinator. The key issues include a struggling run game with Barkley and difficulty for Jalen to find open targets, leading to low first down efficiency and poor third down conversion rates. Philly's defense has also underperformed, especially in the secondary this year. The Eagles have been uncharacteristically bad in the secondary and rank near the bottom of the league in takeaways. Injuries to key defenders have further weakened the unit. They are also coming off 2 straight losses and trying to avoid a third. Now, despite their offensive issues, the Vikings defense has been a major strength this season, led by coordinator Brian Flores. Minnesota defense ranks in the top 10 for yards and points allowed. The pass defense is particularly strong, which exploits one of the Eagles' biggest weaknesses. Now, the QB play has been inconsistent, but that's mainly because they had injuries to J.J. McCarthy. Then they went with Wentz. So this is their biggest offensive liability by far. And despite their QB problems, the Vikings still have elite offensive weapons like Justin Jefferson. So that boy's nasty still. He's been going off the past 2 games, Ty.
Yeah. But I don't see Philly dropping back to back. They just lost. So
they lost. They lost twice.
This will be
gonna
back
be
to
their
back to
third.
back.
3 times.
They're struggling.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
You gotta don't
dropping
try
back.
to bet against the streak. That's one lesson you'll learn fast, Ty, because you're trying to catch them to win and it just don't happen, and you're getting deeper in debt. Because trust me, that's what a lot of silly people are thinking right now. This star power can make up for deficiencies under center and presents a tough matchup for Eagles' vulnerable secondary. Also want to mention Minnesota's coming off a bye, giving their coaching staff extra time to prepare and get players healthy, even including J.J. McCarthy himself if he does decide to play. I kind of want Wentz more to play, but I will get to that in a second. Philly ranks right now 30th in total offense, Ty. I don't know if you realize that. 29th in passing, 25th in rushing, while Minnesota ranks 6th in total defense. 2nd against the pass, 24th against the rush. So I expect Minnesota to shut down this Philly offense for the most part. Minnesota does rank 25th in total offense, 20th in passing offense, 21st in rushing yards. Philly ranks 21st in total defense, 12th against the pass, 27th rush defense. So if Wentz plays, I expect the passing game to be a little bit more efficient than if McCarthy starts. But this game, I feel Jordan Mason will be the X factor against a very, very weak Philly rush defense. I could see this game for him being similar to 3 games ago when he rushed for 116 yards on the ground. I think it was versus Cincy. But this Philly rush defense sucks. Overall, once again, not the type of game to give a play-by-play analyst, but there's a few main factors that lead me to go with this Minnesota team. The first is the bye week. I feel this was huge for Minnesota against Philly, who should be well prepared for especially their defense coming into this game. The second main factor is because this game pits a struggling Eagles offense against a stout Vikings defense. And I don't see why in the world Philly would just suddenly break out on offense this game. And the final reason is because I feel Justin Jefferson is going to have another huge game despite who the quarterback is. Because right now this Philly defense secondary is very, very vulnerable, like I've been saying. So you're going to have to give me Minnesota to win outright in this contest. And you got to remember, Philly does rank 12th in passing D, which doesn't look too bad for them, but they were number 1 last year. So
yeah, that's a big difference. Top 10 to not 10.
And it's not a pretty place to go right now, Minnesota. Now, Ty, maybe you could be right. It is going to be wild to see Philly lose 3 in a row. Some people aren't going to believe it. I had to think highly about that myself, but I believed it. And
I believe.
That's gonna be tough.
That's why it's the best picks at DFV.
Hey.
Gotta get down with them. This is how we're making money. What's the record? 18-9? Yeah. Now listen. The last game we're gonna go to is another Monday night contest.
Oh, another Monday nighter.
A Monday nighter.
This is a late Monday nighter too. This is a 10 o'clock start.
Jeez.
Between Houston and at Seattle. Seattle's -3.5.
Okay.
Seattle comes into this game with an elite defense. They have an elite pass rush that could put pressure on the Houston O-line. Seattle also has a balanced offensive attack. They have talented receivers and a versatile running back duo. But we have seen the O-line struggle a bit, which could allow the Houston pass rush to be effective. Seattle offense has also looked inconsistent at times, especially in crunch time. And if you remember, TJ, last week we did have a bet against Seattle. So this is the second week in a row we're betting against Seattle. So like I said, you can't get scared about that. You got to put it right back up. Even though Seattle did cost us, but we ain't going to get scared this week. Okay? Now, Houston's defense is ranked first in scoring, and their pass rush is among the best in the league. Houston has a very skilled secondary that can challenge the Seahawks' passing game. One thing Houston will have to improve on here is to defend outside zone runs. This is a strength of Seattle. Also, Houston offense needs to step up here because they seem to struggle with pressure against good defenses, which could be a problem for Seattle. I do want to mention, though, Houston will come into this week also off a bye, which means they have a rest advantage and should be well prepared. It is kind of weird that we're going with two teams coming off a bye. I think they were the only two teams to have a bye last week. It's a little weird. Just noticed that. Now, Seattle ranks 10th in total defense, 4th in passing, 24th in the rush, while Houston ranks 4th in total defense, 5th in pass defense, 8th in rush defense, and it's 1st in scoring defense. I feel they will get to Sammy D, and Seattle's run game will start to struggle versus solid rush defense. Now, Houston ranks 13th in total offense, 20th in pass, 16th in rush, while Seattle ranks 13th in total defense, but they're 24th in the pass. Okay. Second in rush defense, though, Seattle is. That's pretty nasty, Ty. So there is no doubt Chubb will have a hard time for Houston. But Stroud should have a huge game, I feel. He's been looking better after the 0-3 start and should continue to improve versus a questionable Seahawks pass defense. Okay. Now, this week, we haven't had any game so far I could really analyze play-by-play, I feel, and this one's going to be no different. But I feel there are some big factors that are making me once again have to take this Houston team. Not only to cover, but win outright. One is I feel this Houston defense is set up well to contain and prevent Sammy D this game. They should be able to pressure him as well as shut him down through the air with the 5th-ranked best pass defense Houston does. The next factor is, like I said, not only Houston coming off a bye and should be well prepared, but Seattle is coming back after that tough trip to Jacksonville, which they did win and look good, but you might see a little slow start again in this game. Especially if they get down early, I feel it's going to be tough to catch up against Houston, who has the number 1 scoring defense. So, for sure. Like I said before last week, they also struggle in the fourth a bit. So if they're down in the fourth quarter, I wouldn't really expect them to come back. So you're going to have to give me Houston in this game, like I said, to not only cover but win outright. So I'm definitely messing with that game for sure. For sure. Now, in the last, now we're going to get to the big segment, TJ. This is your favorite part. This is the bet section, Ty. We gotta get the sound effect. Last week, we gotta get the wah-wah. We gotta get the wah-wah. We ain't profit, so give us the wah-wah. Even though this is the bet, we should have gave the wah-wah for the review section.
Sorry.
But last week, because now what we're sitting at compared to last week is nothing like it should be. Right now, we're only sitting at $746 as our balance. Yeah. But for the year, we're still profiting $646, which means you still have 6.5 times your money. So the good news is this week, I feel great about the 3 parlays I'm about to hand out. So let's get right to them. The first one's going to be the 4-teamer, Ty. It's going to be Vanderbilt minus 2.5 at minus 114. Duke minus 1.5 at minus 110. Houston plus 3.5 at minus 112. And Minnesota money line at plus 120. $75 profits, $1,044.28. So you can't get mad at that.
Damn.
The next parlay we're going to go with is a 2-teamer. Minnesota money line at plus 120. Houston money line at plus 148. $150 profit, $668.40. So that's another great profit. And then the main lock of all locks is going to be Vanderbilt minus 2.5 and Duke minus 1.5. Vanderbilt's minus 2.5 at minus 114, and Duke's minus 1.5 at minus 110. $250 profits you $645.93. So this week, like I said, I'm feeling really good about this week. Last week, we were sitting over 1,000. Like I was telling you, we only put $350 up. But this week, even though we were sitting at like 700 something, we still put that $475 up. Which, if everything goes bad, is going to make us sit at a spooky $271.04. But that's still profit technically. But I don't think we'll have to worry about that at all because I like these parlays. We're going to hit at least one of them. But my prediction is we bringing him all the bacon this week. So
Porky
I
Pig,
would
baby.
definitely get down on them if you can. And you can thank us later.
Moolah, let's get
This
it.
week's going to put us where we're supposed to be here, TJ.
Big facts. Big
Trying to
facts.
tell you right now.
Looking forward to that.
So that's pretty all much we have here for today. But before we head out, I do want to get the WNBA final statements. Ty did do the best. He gave out Vegas the opening segment, gave him out at plus 300. He also gave out the series at minus 1.5 for Vegas to win by at least 2 games or more at plus 150. So he did the best. I gave out Vegas at plus 300, but got scared and hedged, but still would have doubled my money, but I would have got hammered in those games. And then TJ gave out Minnesota at minus 130, but unfortunately
They didn't make
Nafisa
it to the
went
finals.
down. But yeah, Ty definitely did do the best. Tell him, Ty.
Yeah.
Hey, Asia, wait, hold up for my applause.
Ty did it. Ty gave out the W. You know what's funny, Ty? TJ gave out that college basketball winner on the first segment of the March Madness, or on his bracket period. I gave out the NBA winner with OKC on the first episode of the playoff special. Yeah. And then you came through with the WNBA finals.
Round
team.
robin.
So,
Right.
Out of all 3 basketball we did, we all gave out a different. I mean, we all picked the winner, but it was just a different winner. But me and Ty actually gave out the same winner because I actually did give out him too. But I got scared by the final, so I got to give Ty full credit. How you think about that series, Ty, though? It went as expected with the sweep?
Yeah. Asia, she's on a tear, yo. Like, can nobody see her?
Yeah, she did go off.
She's definitely her.
Yes.
Baller for sure.
Yes.
For sure.
What about you?
I mean, like I said, I'm a little upset that Minnesota didn't get to where I wanted them to
you
get
were
to.
still thinking about Minnesota?
Right.
These guys. Like,
Nah, just because that was my original pick.
I'm just joking. I know.
But yeah, if they didn't have to go through injury troubles, I really do believe that they would have made it to the finals. But not to take away from Asia and the Aces, shout out to them. You know what I mean? They did that. I watched all of the games, and they was all interesting, entertaining games. I mean, game 1 could have went either way. The Aces obliterated them in game 2. Game 3 was close, got a little spooky at one point for them, but pulled it off in the end. And then game 4, they just said 1, 2, 3, Cancun. Time to go home. Like, we ain't even about to play with y'all. Like, let's wrap it up. So shout out to them. You know what I mean? That whole trio, Asia, Jackie Young, Chelsea Gray. Yeah, man. They gonna be a problem in the WA for years to come. So yeah.
Was there any final words as a whole for the WNBA till next year? Because these are the final words on the WNBA for this year.
Nah, man. Looking
ready
forward
for next year.
I'm always ready for next year. You know what I'm saying? Right now, looking forward to the NCAA. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna be another good season. Obviously, you know, the NCAA, the women's side of it, anyways. Like right after March Madness ends, they get drafted.
Right, I know.
Like,
That's a crazy turnaround.
They
That's
don't-
probably
they
the
get
craziest
no
of all the
time.
No days
It's
off.
kind of like baseball a little
It's
bit,
like
I guess. But
they get like 3 weeks, then they get drafted.
Wait, in hockey, they get a mid-season draft?
oh, yeah,
That
that
is
was
crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's why
I kind of got to get hip to the more, and I'm a hockey huge fan. I got to know exactly when they do come in, because I remember the Caps. God, I forget the guy's name right now. That came from Boston College last year. Yeah, but it seemed like he got drafted right away and played right away.
Right away.
Right away, bro.
Like 2 days later.
Something like that. Yeah, craziness. And that's hockey, too. That's crazy to go from the college ranks to the pro ranks.
that's a big jump.
You might get killed out there.
Shout out to the Wizards.
In the
Wizards.
Caps. But yeah, sir, that season.
They're balling.
What
They
you
young.
feel about them, though, Ty? We're going to ask you one future play. I can't remember what this season total is. I think it's like a weird 20.5 to 21.5 for total wins for the year. But do you think we're going to go over that total or lower that total?
We're going over.
I think so,
boys
too.
young.
You think we're going to try to compete this year?
I think the Wizards might
Yeah.
be making the playoffs.
And I'm not
They're not
just
going deep, but I think they're making the playoffs.
They can do
know.
it, yeah.
And the
Playoffs.
thing is, I ain't just talking about that randomly, because I kept telling people last year at the end of the year that that's my favorite bet next year is going to be the Wizards season total over for NBA. That is coming up in a few weeks, so it's worth mentioning. And I do think OKC is going to win it back-to-back. But the only thing that surprised me was the win total was sitting so low at 20 to 21. It seems too easy to be true, but I think I'm going to have to back tie with that one. I think I'm going to have to go with the over that one, too. But we'll get to follow the Wizards a little bit through our podcast, because that season will be going on while we finish off this NFL and college football. But let me get back to that real quick. So like I said, make sure you follow me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and even email me if necessary at bestpicksindmv@yahoo.com. But the most important thing is to follow my Instagram or TikTok, Best Picks in DMV, where all the plays become official. Because like I said, not only do I give out the podcast plays on there, but I give out any plays during the week or any additional plays on the weekends besides the podcast picks. Right now, the college record's 32-31. NFL is 12-1. Totals 44-42, which is 51.16%. But the totals needs to get up to over 56.5%. But the good news is, follow me this week and you'll see that mark rise for sure. I feel great about this week. And I feel great about these 4 podcast plays. I hope that y'all get down on the parlays, because we're going to be sitting probably over like 20 times your money this weekend. Yeah. But any final words, Ty or TJ?
Hey, thanks for the episode. Thanks for tuning in. And I'm going to get high.
Yes, sir.
Gotta love that. Gotta love that.
Well,
Well, with that being said, make sure you like, follow, subscribe. Best Picks in DMV podcast. His name is Gabe. Ty's on the 1s and 2s. Shout out Virgil Media Network, Virgil Photography. My name's TJ, and this is another episode of the Best Picks in DMV podcast. We out, y'all. Peace.
have a good one.